This is another reading from my book about natural tanning. And the book is part practical, part magical, part outer, part inner. And this particular chapter is called A Story. That's its name. And this is the very last thing in the book, at the very, very end. So here it is. A Story. It's a bright, clear, hot summer day. Or it's a biting, late fall crisp. With an oversized basket slung over my back and a holey pair of leather slippers shoved into my belt, in preparedness for roses and brambles, I amble down a familiar route of small country roads. Or, wrapped in a babushka, I hustle along, sampling the many fallen wild persimmons and pea-sized pears along the way, until I arrive at one of my favorite meadows, behind an old farmhouse that's been abandoned since I was a kid. I pause, admiring the great expanse of sun and the impossible palette of colors smeared and peppered across this shoulder-high wildness. I make my way through the grasses and asters with high, well-placed steps, cooing and complimenting the great thistles on their drooping heads of fluff, each one often housing a single spider, and ducking into a deer run whenever the tangle gets too thick. Until I arrive at a cheery clump of sumac, or blackberry, or spread of fallen black walnuts. With a choosy, guided intuition, I take each blackberry cane with one hand and slice it cleanly with my knife in the other, then lay it down in my basket. Or, with both hands, like a bear pawing down berries, I pull down branches of sumac, stripping handfuls of leaves in fast motion, and leaving just a few splayed out around each terminal bud, like a compromise or a shy I love you. Working into a kind of methodical hum, melded with the sun and the grasshoppers, maypop flowers twining about my feet, I experience an overwhelming gratitude for the radiance of being. I am in the golden place of all things shining. Sometimes I erupt in a stark laugh if the plants have said something snarky or unexpected, or if an insect or rabbit surprises me. After a couple of hours, my basket has become heavy with compressed leaves, and I pile on still a little more, then throw down my shed layers of clothing to keep it all in place, or my holey shoes not yet taken from my belt. With a wistful look, I gaze upon the meadow, now with changed light. A part of me longs to stay, to never leave, to curl up in a tuft of grass the way the chipmunks do. I lie down in a lush recent bedding of a doe, or perhaps doe and fawn, soaking up the radiant green of the tender grasses and the falling sun, until I'm ready to go. With the then ungainly basket hoisted onto my head, I saunter back down the narrow road, switching arms from time to time as each goes numb from such upwardness. Back home, if it is summer, I'll lay out my harvest on wide tarps for enough days that the sun has made them crispy, then stuff and stomp them into buckets and wash bins for safekeeping. If it's fall and tanning time has begun in earnest, I leave baskets about lackadaisically, taking amply from them daily as I boil many pots of sweet tannic brew which are dumped like dirty bathwater into buckets swimming with skin. And nearly every surface within reach or flinging distance is stuck with bits of skin membrane, wet, rancid, or weeping with salt. Tufts of fur skitter about like little pixies in my own wake and in the breeze. As they emerge, one by one, from the seemingly haphazard collection of buckets and bowls into which I dip my hands a million times upon passing, tasting, swirling, and spatting effusively, the skins pass over the radiant orange wood of my softening paddle, seasoned constantly by the drip of oil, egg yolk, and brain, until, by so much kneading, they break open completely. There are successes, failures, and mysteries. A failure only leads to a transformation into something else. Stitching, dyeing, braiding, smoking, retanning, I follow the muse of the skins themselves, ever led down a path of inspiration, which each day compounds, blossoming into the labyrinthine streams of a river delta. Animal, water, sun, you sing to me, and I listen. I dance with you in this great swinging cloth, like the cradle of an infant. There is nothing under our feet but the space that goes on infinitely. We're dancing in the stars. There is a story somewhere about the love shining in all things, turning back. We are here this time, all time. We're singing to the sun. Journey now, with patient surrender, the tides stream below my feet and also in the hands. We are children of the mystery.